You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's not yet a holiday, but a holiday is almost upon us. Labor Day. President Grover Cleveland signed a law back on June 28th, 1894, making the first Monday in September a national holiday, and it was called Labor Day. And as customary, you may wonder, is this going to be open? Is that going to be open? Is the county office going to be closed? I have stuff I need to do on Monday. I get it. Well, we also have the information. Since it is a federal holiday, banks closed. And just in case you're worried about your stock portfolio, it'll be just fine. New York Stock Exchange closed. The courts closed. Libraries, L.A. public library locations are closed. And that's just about it. Well, the mail does not deliver regular mail, and post offices are closed. Metro buses and subway services. We were just talking about Metro last hour. If you tuned in late, I finished up the Tim Conway Jr. show, and we had a long conversation with KFI's own Michael Monks about Metro and how they are displeased with a lot of my rants and editorializing. And basically, I don't care because they're not willing to come on the show and then make the case for Metro. But I say that to say Metro buses and subway services in L.A. will run on a Saturday, Sunday, and holiday schedule over the course of the weekend. Metro Link trains will run on the weekend schedule. And your trash, well, it'll vary by location. Pickup schedule for L.A. sanitation and environment customers, delayed by 1 day. What that is my trash is picked up on Thursday, like today. They picked up the trash today. Next week, since we have the holiday on Monday, it'll be pushed to Friday. So just take the day in which you usually have your trash picked up and know that it will probably be the next work day after that. But if you're in Burbank, pickup is on a regular schedule, I guess with the exception of Monday. I'm not exactly sure. I probably need to ask Tim Conway Jr. He would probably know better than most people. Today is also my last show. No, not last show, but last show before I know people are getting ready to get it.
Nice knowing you.
He's leaving. They got rid of him. No.
I'll remember you fondly.
This is my last show before I, and also Tuala, get on a cruise, and like 12 other people that we all know. Tomorrow, we're going to get on the cruise, 3-day cruise, Ensenada, Mexico. But while I'm gone, Mark Ronner, the Mark William Ronner.
Okay, you're hauling out the middle name. It's serious.
Look, please, you
Morris
hauled out
William.
mine.
Morris William.
Well, Mark is going to be leading the way not only tomorrow, but also on Monday. Tiffany Hobbs from the crew, the later crew, will also be here. Stefan is going to be on the ones and twos. He's going to be the DJ with the mostest. He's going to be the hostess, as they say, hostess with the mostest. But it's going to be a wonderful 2 days. You won't miss me. I'm quite sure Mark is going to do a wonderful job. If I have the ability to listen in, I'll listen in. I don't know.
You should. I have a wonderful surprise guest lined up for tomorrow night.
Good.
Absolutely fantastic.
Good. Did you follow my advice?
Which advice is that?
As far as how to pitch it?
Oh, no, I groveled.
Okay. Was it the one that you were telling me about?
No. Total surprise.
Really?
You're going to fill your pants.
Okay. Ooh.
Didn't even tell me.
No. That's good. I would rather just experience it. You know, it's like, oh, wow. And be completely underwhelmed. It's like, oh, wow.
Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun. I promise.
All right. Well, have you picked all your clips? Because I'm under the impression that you're going to play Name That Movie Called Classic.
Oh, we got to do that. It's Friday. Yeah, I got the clips out of the way fast. We're going to do, well, it'll be a surprise as well, but it'll be a lot of fun.
All right. Just yes or no. Is it a theme? Do you have a theme?
Absolutely. Yes.
All right. Did you have a problem trying to pick just 10?
You could say that. Yeah, I think you're kind of getting warmer.
No, I honestly don't know. So I'm just judging what I know about you as a person. That's all. And you have a little OCD in you as well. So yeah, I can see you obsess over this.
We have that in common, I'm sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's going to be tomorrow. And if things go well, or even if they don't go well, I'll be sending in pictures and video of Tuala, what will be his maiden voyage, if you will, his first time on a cruise ship, ocean liner, see how well he adapts to it. And it should be high comedy.
Well, I've been thinking about this because I have a similar phobia of deep water. And Tuala, like a rational adult, understands that human beings are land mammals, not meant for deep water. And everything else that's in the water can move faster than we can. But I'm not sure how deep his phobia goes. So, I don't know how much is fair to mock him about it.
Well, it's not like we're going to do a shore excursion and Tuala's going to go snorkeling. You don't even remember this show, Stephen.
We're expecting you.
You've never watched an episode of Love Boat in your life. Can't you even name the bartender? That's what I thought.
Oh, that's an easy one.
No, I don't, but I know his catchphrase is, can I fix anybody a drink?
Okay, all right. Can you name the captain of the ship?
Isn't it Stubing?
There you go.
Yes. All right. Who is the doctor?
I don't know that one.
How about the purser?
Nope. That's, I think, the extent of my knowledge.
The tour director?
Nope.
Her name? Okay. Well, you need to get some more Love Boat in your life.
Okay.
The tour director hung up the phone on me once when I called her about an interview. Just click.
She had a tough life after the show.
That's what I understand.
She did. She went through some stuff, and she may not have known whether you were setting her up or whether it was going to be a legitimate, conversation.
I didn't get the idea that she wanted to find out one way or the other.
But we did have Ted Lange on the show.
That's how you pronounce that?
Yes, it is Lange.
I never knew that.
Yeah, it's not
Super
Lange.
nerd, too.
It's Lange.
I just saw his name. I thought it was Lang, too.
Yes, Lange.
No, he's a super nerd.
In what way?
Like into
the only way.
In the only way.
Yeah.
The only way. Like he knows his comic book lore.
Oh, well, that's cool. So he must appreciate the original Star Trek, unlike you, Tuala.
Okay, hey.
It just got personal.
Like, what are we doing? I thought it was all love right now.
Well, it is, but I love you enough to spread the gospel of Kirk.
you keep that filth to yourself.
Okay.
Did I ever tell you about the time I interviewed William Shatner twice?
Once or twice, yeah.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I threw that out there.
I believe you've mentioned that in passing.
Did I tell you how I interviewed Nichelle Nichols before her passing?
I don't remember. I'm sure you took long showers with the whole cast and you want to rub my nose in it.
No,
yes, I'm jealous, okay?
It was a bath. It wasn't a shower.
Even better. Yeah. Jacuzzi, whatever. Yeah, I'm jealous of all of it.
It's later with Mo Kelly. Did I tell you how I interviewed the son of Leonard Nimoy?
You did not. No.
Yeah, I did.
And didn't he wind up getting married to somebody from one of the spin-off series?
He may have. I don't know that trivia fact.
Okay. All
Adam
right, well,
Nimoy. Yeah.
I'm jealous of all of it.
And he told us all the behind the scenes about whether there was a real rift between William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy.
Well, you're just going to leave me hanging on that while I do the news?
You're going to have to just get the podcast. Like I sent you the Michael Uslan podcast.
You're killing me.
It still exists.
You're killing me.
He came in studio dropping nuggets.
Well, thanks for that. I'll go research it so that I can find the answer that you could tell me in approximately 5 seconds.
Tease. It's later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
And just in case you didn't know, we've been following the story in Orange County. Public officials are continuing their calls for Orange County Supervisor Andrew Doe to step down in the wake of reports of a charity employing his daughter, which allegedly misused millions of dollars in tax funds, allowing his daughter and others to purchase million-dollar homes. And there are possible federal charges looming. Andrew Doe, Supervisor Doe, his house and others were raided recently. Joining us right now is KFI's own Corbin Carson with the latest. Corbin, first, good evening. How are you, sir?
Doing pretty good. Yeah, this story is really reaching into a lot of areas of Orange County politics. The first we really heard about these allegations of impropriety came up when Supervisor Andrew Doe had voted or directed millions of those COVID relief dollars to the nonprofit Be It America Society. And Doe did not disclose that his daughter, Rhiannon Doe, worked for the nonprofit. And an investigation shows that not disclosing that relationship is not illegal. And a local state politician has recently proposed a bill to require such relationships to be disclosed. Then earlier this month, Orange County sued the Be It America Society and its President Peter Pham. They alleged misappropriation of millions of dollars of pandemic relief earmarked for delivery of meals to needy families. That also included a organization called Hand to Hand Relief. That was a subcontractor. They were also sued. The lawsuit claims the nonprofit and Rhiannon Doe, they used the words brazenly plundered the funding, including the allegation that Doe used the money to buy a house, as you mentioned. And then those raids happened this week. That was at the home of Rhiannon Doe and the home of Supervisor Andrew Doe and his wife. That's Rhiannon's mother, and she's the OC assistant presiding judge, Cherry Pham. So again, this reaches deep into Orange County politics as well as into the courts. Since then, several supervisors have come out calling for Doe to resign. The board plans to strip Doe of all committee assignments at their upcoming board meeting on September 10th. It is important to note again that Supervisor Doe has not been named as a defendant in any of those cases, but this is really getting a lot larger as we move along. Now, a couple of things I'm working on. Reports that the feds have frozen all of Viet America Society's accounts. A lawyer for Viet America Society, Mark Rosen, says this is causing needy families to go hungry, all for what he calls political retaliation.
My clients have provided services since 2020. They submitted monthly invoices, which were paid. They submitted evidence of the services. People from the county were free to come and look. They're free to come now and look. And all of this came up in 2023 when people in the county or Andrew Doe's political opponents decided they wanted to do a hatchet job on him. And that's what's motivating this.
Yeah, and he says the county's asking for receipts from meals that were delivered 4 years ago during a global pandemic. Here's him explaining why that's not even reasonable.
They had to provide these services on an emergency basis. Now, 3 or 4 years later, starting in 2023, the county is complaining about the record keeping going back to 2020. And people forget at the time we had people delivering meals. We had people cooking the meals, but they couldn't really interact with the recipients, the poor and the disabled, because they weren't supposed to have contact because of the pandemic. And so they're trying to create ideal circumstances in 2024 for what was an emergency in 2020.
Yeah, so a lot going on here.
Look, first thing, as far as Supervisor Doe goes, they're playing word salad politics here, where it may not have been illegal not to disclose, but when it comes to ethical behavior, there are two responsibilities. You have to avoid engaging in actual impropriety, and you have to avoid engaging in the appearance of impropriety. Both matter. Now, whether it's illegal or not, the federal investigation will decide. But a person of innocent mind acts accordingly. If you know that there's millions of dollars, or in this case, more than $10 million going to change hands, and it's going to change hands to an organization in which your daughter is one of the co-founders or the co-president of, a person of innocent mind would say, hey, maybe I need to divulge that information, pandemic or not. I know you can't comment on that, but it smells real bad from where I'm sitting.
You know, and that's something some of the other supervisors did comment on this week. Supervisor Doe did not go to the board meeting this week, but this topic was brought up by at least two of the supervisors. And Supervisor Vicente Sarmiento talked about how some of those dollars that you mentioned, how he's upset that those dollars were really needed, that how so many people were dying in his city when he was mayor in Santa Ana, and they could have used this money that was allegedly diverted somewhere else. Here's him discussing how Andrew Doe should not continue on because this whole thing is a distraction.
I would ask him and would demand that he step down. I believe that his 650 plus thousand residents deserve somebody who's going to be able to deliver services, be responsive to his constituents. And again, I don't do this lightly because I am a big supporter and proponent of due process rights that everybody has, and I have complete confidence in the courts when they do do things properly, that people are going to be held responsible. But I do think that at this point, it is very difficult for a supervisor or any board office to carry out its public functions given what we're dealing with right now.
Meanwhile, Supervisor Katrina Foley says stepping down is the right thing to do.
I presume Supervisor Doe is watching this meeting, so I will speak directly to him. Andrew, please resign. Resignation is not an admission of guilt, and you are entitled to due process. However, your position on the board is untenable and will only cause harm to the good work of the county. If you truly care about this county, as you have claimed many times in the past, then you will step down so we can begin to heal the deep wounds that you have caused all of us.
Supervisors Wagner and Chafee were much more cautious with their words. This is right along party lines. That should be something we say up front. Foley and Sarmiento being Democrats, while Chafee, Wagner, and Supervisor Doe are Republicans. Wagner has said people should let law enforcement do their job and not rush to judgment, but he's also the board chair, so again, did call for the vote at the next meeting, to strip Doe of all committee assignments. So it remains to be seen what will happen in this case next.
It is very messy, and there is a long and strong paper trail. That money went from A to B, and people made decisions and signed off on it. I think it'll be pretty clear when all is said and done. Corbin Carson, thank you for staying on this story. Thank you for following up, and we'll continue to watch it.
Appreciate it, sir. Thanks.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. When we come back, we're going to tell you about another legal issue. A ruling has cleared the way for the sale, you could say another sale, of Michael Jackson's music catalog. We'll tell you about that next. KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's hard to remind myself that Michael Jackson died some 15 years ago. 15 years. And in the world of music, that's more than a lifetime. That's like 2 generations of music lovers coming and going. You have fewer and fewer people who actively remember Michael Jackson as a superstar in his heyday. And if you talk to a true Michael Jackson fan, you'll find any number of responses as far as his best album. I think his best album is Off the Wall. That bumper, Rock With You, is from the Off the Wall album. And I think top to bottom, it's better than Thriller, definitely better than Bad. I mention his music because his music catalog is probably unparalleled. I'm just talking about the Michael Jackson portion, not the Jacksons, not the Beatles portion that he bought a long time ago, just the Michael Jackson solo artist portion of his catalog. And Michael Jackson is, if you know anything about his history, was dealing with severe financial issues. He was trying to save Neverland Ranch. He was trying to go back out on tour one last time to generate money and sales to deal with some of those issues. But then, as the story goes, he did die an untimely death. And what is common, I guess, amongst many popular artists when they die, their catalog balloons with respect to value. Michael Jackson's was no different. His music was purchased all over the world. He had new hits. He had the song that he did the duet with Justin Timberlake. Love Never Felt So Good. And that's just not unusual when you have a deceased artist. Their music is more in demand, such that the value of his catalog ballooned. And there began a fight as far as either liquidating the catalog to trying to address some of the debts that Michael Jackson had left and also make some money. But the executors of his estate had final say. His mother, Katherine Jackson, wanted to make sure that the Michael Jackson music catalog stayed in the family, or at least stayed under the auspices of the Michael Jackson estate. The estate was trying to sell the catalog back to Sony Music Group for some $600 million. His mother tried to block the deal, but now there's a new court ruling which has paved the way for this deal to go through and sell the music back to Sony for about $600 million. And if you've been paying attention, just about every artist that you've ever known or loved, they've sold their catalog at some point. They're cashing out. They know that they can get from $300 million to $1 billion in a lump sum, as opposed to just holding on to the rights and the royalties forever. They'd rather just cash out now. And that's what the Michael Jackson estate is trying to do for some $600 million, which is nothing to sneeze at. And I can be of two minds. I can understand why Katherine Jackson is dismayed. I know there's a financial interest. I'm not saying that she's wrong for having a financial interest, but I understand, at least if you're a Michael Jackson purist, you would think selling it back to the record label is kind of sad, if only because that means the record label gets to make money in perpetuity off of Michael Jackson, and the Michael Jackson estate will have no say. What does that mean? They can do Michael Jackson holograms and have it go out on tour. They can license his music for commercials, even though we may think that that would be heresy depending on the product. They can do anything they want with the music. They can allow someone to remake it. They can sample it, allow other artists to sample it. There's no limitation. The record company can do ringtones with the music. They can do anything they want, and you won't be able to protect the legacy of Michael Jackson.
I think the sell price for that $600 million is a steal. That is actual heresy. I mean, this man's catalog will live on forever. He will always be Michael Jackson. We are not talking about like the likes of a Justin Bieber. No disrespect to Justin Bieber, but who sold his for some close to 150, maybe 200 million. And that's just, his previous material. That's not anything that's about to be coming out soon. I just think that arguably one of the greatest recording artists in any lifetime, them valuing the catalog at 600 million, that is a slap in the face for what everything you just laid out. You just laid out at least $2 billion net worth that catalog can generate.
Let me make it real simple for someone who may not know how the business works. When you have an artist and they make a record, depending on how many points they have on an album, they may make anywhere from, 6 cents on every album to maybe a couple of dollars. Most of that money is paid to the record company because their artists are given an advance for their recording, and then they go out on tour to recoup that advance. And when money is doled out from album sales, record sales, the artist gets paid last, usually the smallest portion of the pie. The record company gets the most. That's why people are sometimes angry when the record company buys the catalog back, because they were already making, I'll just say, 2/3 of the money to begin with. And now they can, for $600 million, they can put out new albums in perpetuity. That means anything in his vault, which was unreleased. You can do remixes. You can do an a cappella stripped down version of it. And they could easily make, to your point, Tuwala, a couple $1 billion, just release some unreleased material or different remix material of Michael Jackson albums in the way that Taylor Swift has remixed and redone, resung her own albums. They could easily make that money back in a few years. So the $600 million price tag, it's not nothing, but it's pennies on what Sony Music is going to make.
I mean, if you can tell me that Bob Dylan's catalog, which sold at 500 million, is comparable to Michael Jackson's catalog, because this goes back, because Michael Jackson got back the rights to all of his stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, a large chunk of Michael Jackson's catalog does also now include the Beatles catalog, which he purchased. So
I'm not sure.
I'm not 100% sure where that falls.
Yeah.
But this to me, this is wrong.
Well, let's put it this way. Bruce Springsteen sold his catalog for $550 million. Bruce Springsteen is a great artist.
Great.
But his catalog cannot possibly compare to Michael Jackson's. It's just not possible.
It's not possible. No, it's not possible. One of the greatest selling artists of all times. I get that Bruce Springsteen is still doing shows.
Oh, I'm sorry. And Sony owns Bruce's as well.
See,
can you see how this is going?
Yeah. See, this is a problem. Oh, shame.
Look,
and they're taking advantage of Catherine. Oh, no, not Miss Jackson.
Well, I think that Michael Jackson was somewhat estranged from his family, and he should have had some sort of family involvement as far as his legacy and estate. And for Catherine to be on the outside says to me that Michael was not interested in having family members be part of his executors of his estate, or otherwise we would be able to avoid this.
Or because we also know that Michael Jackson had estranged himself from much of it, because his family, they all hang. He's the one that at least by all appearances, wasn't hanging. I believe that people took advantage of Michael Jackson.
Put it this way.
His solitude.
Queen, the band, sold their catalog to, say it with me, Sony, for $1.27 billion. Double Michael Jackson's catalog. Look.
Nah, hey, come on, dog. Come on
now. I love Queen.
Queen.
But not twice as much as Michael Jackson.
No.
And it's not, you can't tell me they sold as many albums. You can't tell me they've had the same musical impact as Michael Jackson. You can't tell me that their catalog has the same value. And Sony, when you hear Queen songs in commercials, that's Sony making their $1 billion back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Licensing the rights to use it in commercials or parts of movie soundtracks, whatever.
I don't like, and I know Michael Jackson's children were somehow involved in this fight as well. And I think that at least let this be a wake up for any recording artist out there and how to now, while you are doing music now, start protecting your music long term.
They don't learn. Phil Collins and Genesis, $300 million. Sting, $300 million. Tina Turner, $300 million. Kiss.
Tina Turner, half as valuable as Michael Jackson. I love Tina.
Kiss, $300 million. Kiss catalog is worth as much as Tina Turner's. I don't know about that.
Don't know.
David Bowie, $250 million. That seems real undervalued. But again, depending on the artist and the estate, they're just cashing out.
Again, when Dr. Dre and Justin Bieber are able to sell their catalogs, current catalogs, for $200+ million, these are current artists. Michael Jackson should not fall in the just $400 million more than Justin Bieber. That's part of the problem I have.
And also I blame the executives of the state because obviously they took the first offer, not the best offer. They could have gotten more than $600 million from Michael Jackson's catalog.
Hell, I'm sure Justin Bieber's probably looking at this like, are they out of their minds?
Probably. I know they're out of their minds. It's Later with Mo Kelly. Football season is back. You know I'm a USC Trojans fan. USC is no longer in the Pac-12 because the Pac-12 no longer exists. They have gone to the Big Ten, and they start their season on Sunday. I'll tell you about it when we come back.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
And hooray, college football is back. Lifelong USC Trojans fan. And although the team has underperformed for the past, 15 years or so, I'm always hopeful that things will be better. And if you follow college football, USC is in a different conference. The Pac-12 has been dissolved. It is no more. USC and UCLA and others have moved on to the Big Ten, which means that USC will have the most difficult schedule in the school history. They'll be playing LSU this Sunday as a non-conference game, but it'll be in Las Vegas at the Raiders Allegiant Stadium, and they're probably going to get their ass kicked. Yeah, they probably are. I'm a fan, but I'm also honest. They're probably going to get the floor wiped with them. LSU's top 10. USC's ranked number 23, but I don't think they're actually the 23rd ranked team in the country, but it looks better on paper when, two ranked teams are playing. But here's where it's going to be very difficult for USC. They will be playing LSU, but obviously they'll be playing Michigan from the Big Ten. They'll be playing Washington from what was the Pac-12. They'll also be playing Wisconsin and Penn State. They will have, at Notre Dame, they will have arguably the most difficult schedule in the country. They're playing some of the best of the Big Ten as well as some of the best of what was the Pac-12. And this is not the best USC team. They've had a mediocre recruiting season. This is going to be the make or break season for Coach Lincoln Riley. I wish I had a chance to get Jane Wells on the phone because we commiserate about USC every single season, and this won't be any different. But I prefer college football and college sports to professional. One, yes, I know there's money now in the college sports in a way that there's never been before because of NIL deals. We've discussed that. But still, there's more of a passion for the sport on the college level than there is the pro level. The fandom, I don't think, is comparable. The people who are traveling to watch their team play in Las Vegas, you'll see a lot of LSU fans coming from Louisiana and around the country. And even though regionally it's closer to USC, obviously Las Vegas is physically closer in proximity. You probably won't have as many USC fans traveling. But this, to me, is the best part of, put it this way, it's like the consolation prize for the end of summer. Summer is pretty much over, unfortunately, with the Labor Day weekend. But, to compensate, we get college football. And I get to hope one more time that we'll have a decent USC Trojans team that can vie for a national championship, even though they probably won't. And it's unfortunate. I love doing this show later with Mo Kelly, but there's absolutely nobody in this studio who cares about college football with the exception of me. Not a one. Definitely not Stefan. Definitely not Mark. And sure as hell not Twal Sharp. But
Twal doesn't watch it? I thought he did.
I think he has a casual relationship with it, if only because being from Pasadena, you are close enough to college football. I know the Rose Bowl is UCLA, but I'm saying you're close enough in an LA sense where you can feel it and have some sort of connection to it.
More than a combined of me and Mark.
Yeah. Okay. Here comes Twala to tell me I'm wrong. Okay. Twala, are you an absolutely not college football fan or a kind of sort of?
I could care less about college football.
Oh, and that means you care then.
Huh?
You could care less. So that means you care a lot.
I care less than a little.
So I couldn't care less.
I could not care less.
There we go.
I could not care less. There isn't less of a care that could be given, almost zero blanks given for college football. I'm trying to make it clear.
This is so hurtful.
There was a squirrel that I saw smashed in the street on my way here. And I said to myself, damn, I care more about that dead squirrel than I care about any of your silly college football game.
Corner him on the grammar, though. You got a good angle going.
I tried. He didn't catch that, but that's all right.
It's okay.
Well, I guess there's not too much more for me to say since nobody else cares. KFI AM 640. Nothing. Bueller. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Prepare to be stimulated. KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live.